Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm in survival mode, and I think we all need to get into that same mode right now. If you look at the avatar, I pickled some eggs because eggs are getting ridiculous as far as price is concerned. So I I bought about 2 dozen, yeah, 2 dozen eggs, but I only pickled 1 dozen. And I'm telling you, the most work was um, sterilizing everything because you got to sterilize everything that touches the egg. You got to pour hot water on top of the eggs for a few seconds. Then you have to inspect the eggs without touching them, so you got to use a sterilized spoon to do it because if the eggs are bruised, then it could be contamination. So I that was a bit challenging, but it's amazing how many eggs are considered, quote, bruised. Also, on my other video, you can go back and take a look at that. Some people have shelf stable egg, storage of eggs, and then others are going by what the FDA says. And basically, I'm going with the CDC and what they say, and they say that you should refrigerate them. Although a lot of people whose family's been doing it for generations are using the shelf stable method, and they've been doing it for generations, like I said, and they haven't had any problems. However, I wasn't, I'm not at a confident space that I would do it that way. So I'm using the refrigeration method after I pickle them. And basically, they're good for about 4 months. So if, say, this week I do another, like say this week and next week I do another 4 dozen, I'll have enough eggs for a while that are stored, and I got them at the price they are now. And they say the prices are going to go higher. But I'm telling you, they don't want your hands. They don't even want a glove, a blue glove to touch the egg. And everything has to be sterilized. You even though the jars are brand new, you got to put them in boiling water. You got to put the tongs in boiling water. You got to put the spoon in boiling water. Then, after you pour the brine, which is the vinegar and all that juice, after you pour that on it, then you have to tighten them up real tight and then put them upside down or right side up, whatever way, as long as the top part is covered, and let that boil to seal it. So it's a lot of process, but that's the difficult part. That's the where the work comes in. Um, you got to chop up the onions and put the dill in there and the salt and sugar and cut up all the peppers and onions and put peppercorn in it. But it's really not that bad once you get started. Once you get past to the point where you've got the brine cooking, and it'd be good to have like 2 pots on the stove doing it. But I tell you, I got even more respect for my grandmother because she canned everything. She really did. My mother used to joke about it that she said when they were kids, my grandmother would can everything that was growing at the time. And they made it through the Depression, so it's something to be said for that. But it is a lot of work if you do it on a large scale. On a small scale, it's not so bad. But when you're talking about people who are doing fruit and meats and all that sort of stuff, that's a lot of work. But anyway, I will let you know how they taste in a couple of weeks because they say wait a couple of weeks before you open them. back up and eat them. So we'll see what happens. But I did want to share with you all that the prices of eggs are going up. Now the weird thing is, in Mexico, eggs are like $1 something a dozen. How come they're $7 and $8 over here? Ain't the same birds, flu, or whatever going around over there? It would seem to me that it would be, but you know, I don't know. Maybe everybody I should go to Mexico, but you know what? I wouldn't because they probably wouldn't let us back in if we went over there right now. There's too much going on. But even if you got to pay $7, that's better than in a couple of weeks paying 14. And with all of the trade and tariff wars going on, we can't really count on anything but our individual selves. So if you like to have eggs and you need eggs in your diet, I would suggest that I'll put the link in the description. But on YouTube, they have a lot of it. Just look up pickling eggs and they have different recipes. They will tell you if it's shelf stable or if it's not approved by the by the FDA. They tell you all of that up front. I went to the FDA and CDC website to check for myself, and they said that they suggest refrigeration and it'll last in the fridge for like 4 months or so because of the fear of botulism. And the thing that is difficult to do is after, the eggs are boiled, you have to make sure they're not bruised, chipped, or, cut apart, any kind of thing. They have to be perfectly smooth and everything else. And you'd be amazed how many eggs are not, even after they've been boiled. There's a problem with them. So, you have to be careful of all of that. But I'm really happy I got it done, and I wanted to let y'all know that it wasn't that bad. I'm going to get larger jars because that way, with larger jars, I can get 10 eggs in there, whereas right now, the jars I had, I only could get 5 in each jar. So I'm going to get larger jars and see what else I can pickle. Okay, that's all I wanted to share with you all, but seriously, it's getting serious out there. Um, People are saying all over TikTok, if you go take a look, everybody is saying stock up on food, on non-perishable food, stock up on everything you can. And I'll have some more information about that possibly later on today if I can get back to it, because right now I started this morning, I'm going to make some oxtail stew and freeze it. So, but hopefully you all will look into that and it will probably save you some money. It's better to buy it at the price now and not take the chance of them doubling in price in a couple of weeks, because that is what has been happening. And anyway, I hope this gives you guys some good ideas and you get into survival mode. Have a great day. Bye bye.